It's about that time, baby. We're in album mode. I'm feeling creatively loose. Let's do it.
In the summer of 2023, a humble plugin development company named Yum Audio approached vocalist, songwriter, and producer Lloyd Brown in collaborating with him on his forthcoming 31st studio album to drop in spring 2024. In reply, Lloyd simply said,
"Yes, I are."
And this is what happened next.
Brought to you by Rhythmworks Productions and Yum Audio.
Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome to the second episode of my collaborative video series entitled The 31st Album in conjunction with Yum Audio. Now for those who don't know me, I'm a vocalist, songwriter, producer, and not a bad bloke. Now Yum Audio kindly reached out to me and offered me the usage of their plugins by way of preparation for my forthcoming 31st album. This is not a plugin review. I need to state that from the get-go. This is not a plugin review series. They just want me to use the plugins and see how I implement them in the production of the tracks that are going to be featured in my forthcoming album. All right. So previously we were talking about drums and how I programmed my drums, how I programmed my percussion, and how I played physical percussion by way of a top percussion loop to give the groove even more of a humanized feel. And now we're going to concentrate on fleshing out the entire groove with instruments and explaining the process of how I record instruments and how I utilize MIDI and WAV files. So let's get into it. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, a door's eye view on the first session of the first track of my forthcoming album. Previously, I had recorded and programmed a drum pattern and also a percussion pattern. And on top of that, I recorded live percussion to add some sheen and humanization, if you will, to the track as well. But as you can see, most of the track that I've recorded has been recorded in MIDI. It is a very important reason why I do that to begin with. It is simply because I might record something at, let's just say, 60 BPM in the key of C major. It might sound good to me at that moment in time, but then probably on reflection the next day, I'll probably think, well, C major is not a great key and 60 BPM might not be a great tempo. So I can change the tempo and change the key much quicker with MIDI data than I could with recorded audio data, because with audio recorded data, I will probably need to time stretch it and detune it and blah, 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 and that is long for me. However, Cubase is more than competent in performing those tasks. But for other DAWs, I have no knowledge of their workings or their inner workings, so I don't know how much it will slow your workflow down. But if we are working collectively in MIDI and we want to change the tempo and we want to change the pitch, we can do it a whole lot quicker with MIDI than with audio. That's why with the basic elements of a groove, I like to kind of sit with it for at least a day and see if it still basically works. And more importantly, when I'm working with a collaborator, although the pitch might be fine for me, it might not be fine for my collaborator. And we might have to strike a happy medium by approaching a pitch that we're both happy with and a tempo that we're both happy with. And that's why it's important by recording the basic elements of a groove in MIDI as opposed to audio files. As per last episode, I'm going to play for you the drum pattern and also the percussion loop that I programmed before. Okay, as per last episode, you saw me vibing out to physical percussion instruments to play alongside the programmed instruments to begin with. We have in total 5 instruments. We have the cabasa, the egg shaker, the flexotone, the Bruck pipe bongo, the circle bells. Let's just add them one by one so you can get a flavor as to what is included. So let's try the egg shaker medium. Let's do it. Okay, now I'm going to add the flexotone. Okay, I'm going to stop here. So with the Bruck pipe bongo, it is basically the same loop, but I've split the loop into 4 sections, and I've actually panned each track left and right because I wanted to give pipe bongo a sense of movement as it's being played. All right, let's see how it sounds without the egg shaker and the flexotone. Let's just see how that sounds so you can get a clearer hearing of what it sounds like. So in a way, it's like a cheap auto pan, all right? So let's just put the rest of the instruments in there. And also introduce the cabasa and the circle bells. So for you to hear that, let's just shift the loop to bar 7 and move the timeline just so. And see what we got now. Here we go. Okay, right. So basically, we have the 5 instruments that I physically recorded using physical percussion. And I'm sure you will agree that it gives it a real nice humanized groove, right? So if I open out the session, you can see that certain instruments are placed strategically down the track. Now, there's no vocals on it, but because I know the vocals, I know where to best place certain percussions to act as overdubs so it doesn't cloud or cover the vocals. It will basically enhance the vocals. As with the circle bells, as you can see, they're not placed in the same place all the way down the song. The only instruments that are playing constantly is the cabasa, the egg shaker, and the Bruck pipe bongo, which are both panned left and right alternatively. So let's just open that back up and bring it back to the intro. All right, so let's just recap of what has been done thus far. We have got a tempo that we like. Another rule for me is that once you've reached that happy medium of the tempo and the pitch, I like to commit MIDI files to audio. I don't know how you do it on other DAWs, but in my case, I literally just click on the event, put a key command, which for me is Shift, Control, and R. And as you can see, it's rendered the MIDI file into audio. And with that, I'll execute the same procedure across all the tracks that has been recorded in MIDI. And it's important to render the tracks in audio for different reasons. Number one is that reason being that you don't have to rely so much on the MIDI instruments because that can take up disk space and CPU, and you've just got the audio to work with, and that will basically take down your CPU usage a lot, making it more easier for you to manipulate the sounds as opposed to try to manipulate the MIDI by using the instrument. Let's just take that back because I'm not ready to do that just yet. So basically that is the reasoning behind working with MIDI, being happy with the MIDI that you've worked with, and equally as important, how to commit to audio and the reason for committing to audio. I'm going to give you a blank screen right now and give you a vibe of my vibe as to what I've been hearing. So let's just start with all of the percussion. So let's start with the program drum pattern, the program percussion pattern, and also the live physical percussion being played. And I'm going to add all the other instruments on top so you can hear the track being fleshed out musically. All right, so here we go. And that is basically the gist of the groove and the instrumentation of the groove as well. And as per my last episode, you've probably noticed that I haven't used any of Yum Audio's plugins at this point. The reason being is because I would like to take you through the process of how I actually construct a track and then utilize the plugin so that I don't have to go through this process with any other tracks I'm going to feature. So the next track I will feature, it will be at this stage prior to any Yum Audio plugins being implemented. But at the moment with this track, I'm actually feeling lo-fi playtime on a couple of instruments. I don't know how they're gonna basically work, but I just want to kind of get a gist of the groove and the vibe. Because it's a country track, I don't really want to put any effects that are unnecessary in the track. So I have to live with the track and vibe with the plugin and see how I can best implement the plugins to the instruments, because sometimes less is more, you know, less to the point where you can't hardly hear it, but you know something's there. Anyway, so with that, I have another discount code to give to you, which is LBmusic25. If you use that code LBmusic25 in Yum Audio, you will be eligible for a 25% discount on any plugins, any selection of plugins, or any bundle of plugins in Yum Audio. That's LBmusic25. You will be getting a 25% discount on any plugins, any selection of plugins, or any bundle of plugins. And not only that, in future episodes we'll be running some competitions and some giveaways as well. So I really hope that that has whetted your appetite somewhat. All right, so it's with that I'm gonna take you back to the studio with the other Lloyd Brown. Take it away. And there we have it. And as the other version of myself basically stated, my discount code LBmusic25 is live, up and running, up and kicking, cooking on gas for you to use in Yum Audio. Whether you want to buy a single plugin, 2 plugins, 3 plugins, or a suite of plugins, or a bundle of plugins, you will get 25% discount off the total price of the plugin. But there's more coming. We got some giveaways, we got some competitions, we got lots more coming. So I hope that's whetted your appetite somewhat. So it's with that, I want to bid you guys adieu. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. And as always, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, all of that stuff across all our social, Lloyd Brown Music, and also Yum Audio socials. And until we link up next time, happy music making. I'm out of here. Peace.
Brought to you by Rhythmworks Productions and Yum Audio.